Welcome to the ultimate guide to the anti-inflammatory diet and lifestyle. If you're new here, hey, I'm Healthy Emmie. I'm a nutritionist, a weight loss specialist, and the creator of Slim, the all-inclusive platform where you get a custom meal plan, workout plan, access to me to answer all your questions, daily meditations, journal topics, everything that you could need in order to succeed and reach your goals on a plant-based diet. Now let's give a big thank you to the sponsor of today's video, which is absolutely perfect for the topic at hand, because we're talking about inflammation. And one of the biggest markers of inflammation occurs in the body's largest organ. Do you know what the body's largest organ is? It's this right here. It's your skin. And we see inflammation of the skin all the time. We see eczema, we see breakouts, redness, irritation. This is all inflammation of your body's largest organ, the skin. So we have to make sure that we're putting things on the skin that are anti-inflammatory. And we don't want to be putting super harsh chemicals on the skin, which is why I love KPS for my skincare, because the skincare is so clean, you could literally eat it. I don't recommend you do so. I recommend you eat some other stuff, but that's how clean this is. The KPS products have 13 natural ingredients known for anti-inflammatory properties. They're up on the screen here, but just to name a few: rooibos, aloe leaf juice, ginger, turmeric root powder, vitamin C, vitamin B3, clove bud. These ingredients work together synergistically to help reduce inflammation on your body's largest organ, which is your skin. I'll throw up some before and after here's that I think are so powerful. My mom has been using this and absolutely loving it. My fiance has been using this and absolutely loving it. And I heard from both of them after just one use, they already had fallen in love because they could see changes right away. So it's not only going to provide you with short-term relief, but also it's going to help with building up your skin's barrier over time so that you're going to experience less inflammation in the long term, because your body's largest organ, your skin, just isn't as inflamed. So let's take care of the inflammation now, and then let's make sure everything else is taken care of with your skin so that you're not having to always have to reduce inflammation with your skin. Linked down below, use the discount code Emmie. There's going to be a lot of information in this video, and the teacher in me wanted to help you out, so I have a notes sheet for you. It's linked in the description bar if you want to print that out and take notes throughout the video. Inflammation is not an inherently bad thing. It's the body's way to responding to some sort of intruder or stress. It's here to help you. In acute scenarios, it's very helpful, but in chronic scenarios, it's a big problem. Acute inflammation would be like when you get a cut on your finger and it gets swollen and it gets red, but then it heals. That was helpful to make sure that there was no infection in there to keep you safe. Chronic inflammation, on the other hand, is linked to things like heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, even issues with your mood. We'll talk about that gut-brain axis in a minute. The great news is that the body is so responsive and adaptive, and your body wants to be healthy. And when you start making these changes, you'll be surprised by how much your body changes in response to that. So we're going to talk about lifestyle and dietary changes that you can make in order to help reduce your chronic inflammation. Speaking to the anti-inflammatory diet, I want to start with some really low-hanging fruit. If I name some superfoods for you, it is so easy to add these in no matter what diet you're currently on. So even if you're eating Oreos and potato chips and Twinkies, you can still add these foods in to slowly inch your way toward an entirely anti-inflammatory diet. One of the lowest hanging fruits is leafy greens. I tell people the ultimate hack is to add 2 handfuls of leafy greens at every single meal, no matter what you're eating. Even if you're eating a cheeseburger, take 2 handfuls of leafy greens, put it on that cheeseburger. Studies show that higher intake of leafy greens is correlated with a lower likelihood of adopting diseases like heart disease or type 2 diabetes, which are fueled by chronic inflammation. They're also high in antioxidants and carotenoids, which reduce oxidative stress. Also high in fiber, which is going to help with ensuring your digestive system is working properly. I've seen in my practice with clients a high correlation between inflammation and issues with the digestive tract. So this is going to help in the digestive tract area. And I think this is a good opportunity for me to talk about the gut-brain axis and how it relates to inflammation. These two are in cahoots. Your brain and your stomach are so closely tied, you may have no idea. They're always talking. Your gut is home to trillions of bacteria that help regulate inflammation. So when your gut microbiome is off, you're less likely to be able to regulate that inflammation. And chronic stress on the gut can lead to what's called leaky gut. And leaky gut is when the toxins inside of the stomach can escape and they can enter the bloodstream. And that causes an immune response. Not to mention, it's telling the brain everything that's going on, which is why when you're experiencing issues within the gut, you're going to also experience issues within the brain, like mood changes and stress and brain fog and just overall disconnection. Something great that can help settle the stomach and reduce inflammation is ginger, which is another super easy thing to add to soups or to stews. It contains gingerol, and it's shown that an increased consumption of gingerol can help with reducing CRP. The more CRP we see, the more inflammation you have. The less CRP, the less inflammation, which means more ginger means less inflammation. It can also help with reducing joint pain, muscle soreness, menstrual cramps. Added bonuses. Cinnamon, one of the best foods on the planet, can also help with inflammation. Studies have shown that the consumption of cinnamon can help with reducing inflammation markers like TNF-alpha. Additionally, it can help improve your insulin sensitivity, which is very important because repeated spikes in blood sugar triggers inflammation. So this is going to help with keeping your blood sugar more steady and preventing that continuous constant spike, which leads to inflammation. Next is turmeric. Do you know how to spell this? There's a secret R in there. It's actually turmeric. Another super easy thing to just sprinkle into your soup, sprinkle into your stew, add it on top of potatoes or on top of roasted vegetables. It could not be easier. I didn't say vegetables correctly there. Vegetables. It could not be easier to add in anti-inflammatory spices. If you're not doing that today after watching this video, then you're not serious about this. Turmeric contains curcumin, which is one of the most fun words to say, but what curcumin does, there are certain molecules within the body that really want to promote inflammation. And again, they're great in the short term, but the chronic inflammation is an issue. So what turmeric does, the curcumin specifically, is it tells those molecules, hey, you guys don't have to be active all the time. Take a nap, take a break. They're really good at calming down those molecules that want to promote inflammation. Now let's talk about magnesium. So magnesium is a mineral that helps with relaxation, and it's shown that magnesium deficiency is unfortunately associated with increased inflammation. A great source of magnesium is pumpkin seeds. These are a great thing to add on to whatever you're having for dinner at night, whether you're having tacos or a grain bowl. Like, there's nothing that you can't sprinkle these on, a soup, a stew. It's also going to help with helping you sleep. And if you're experiencing any muscle soreness, it helps with relaxing your muscles as well. It can also help with bowel movements in the digestive system. Magnesium is like a wonder mineral, and some people do really well with even supplementing it. I always say try the food, see how it goes, and if you find that you need something a little bit more potent, you can get some at the store and supplement that. Onions, they're very humble, but man, these pack a punch. Not only are they going to help with reducing inflammation because they contain flavonoids that help with suppressing inflammation, but also they're a great source of prebiotics, which are going to fuel your gut microbiome. Remember we talked about how important the gut microbiome is in reducing inflammation? Your gut microbiome has to be fed, and onions are a great way to feed the gut microbiome so that you can help with making sure that those little fighters in the gut are going to help with reducing inflammation. So far, we have talked about the low-hanging fruit, the easy superfoods that you can add into your diet no matter what you're eating. We've also talked about how to address inflammation from the outside through the use of KPS, which is linked below. Now let's talk about how to build your plate around this anti-inflammatory diet in terms of what the good guys are and what you absolutely want to include with every single meal. And then we're going to talk about what you want to leave out. When you build your plate, half of your plate is going to be vegetables. I don't care what diet you're eating, every single person should have half their plate vegetables at each meal. If the other side of your plate is Twinkies, I always tell people this is where we start. We start with half of the plate being vegetables. Again, the low-hanging fruit. If you're not ready to give up all those other foods, let's just start with making half of your plate vegetables. Now, if you're ready to continue to build on that, on the other half of your plate, we're going to have a source of starch. Now, this is where it can get a little dicey because there are certain starches that are going to be more inflammatory, the ones that are highly refined and have other additives. So if you have a bread or a bagel that's had a bunch of sugar and oil and dairy added to it, problem. But if you have potatoes, sweet potatoes, oatmeal, rice, quinoa, amaranth, corn, squash, any of those whole grains, those are fantastic. The wet, intact starch. Now we need a source of protein, and I'm going to highly encourage you, if you want to go the anti-inflammatory route, to do a plant-based protein. Because along with the protein in plant-based proteins, you're also going to get more fiber, which is going to help with elimination and getting rid of toxins. You're less likely to experience the hormonal chaos that happens when you eat animal products. When you eat the animal products, these also come along with hormones, with salt, with saturated fats. All of those are going to be inflammatory. Hormones are not necessarily inflammatory, but they're going to encourage more fat storage. They're going to wreak havoc on your own hormones. So choose the plant-based protein. It's a lot cleaner, and it's not going to come along with the things that are going to cause inflammation. Then for a source of healthy fats. A great place to find healthy fats is in things like seeds, pumpkin seeds, avocados, nuts, as opposed to choosing things like butter or cheese, which once again are gonna come along with things that are inflammatory. So a cleaner source of fat is gonna be those plant-based fats. And not to use too much, because too much fat is going to cause inflammation. Sprinkle it on top. I want you to focus on eating the rainbow, because each hue, each different color is going to represent a different powerhouse in terms of fighting off inflammation and oxidative stress and helping your body get rid of toxins. So when you build your plate, choose as many different colors as you can to help increase the antioxidant profile, the mineral profile, the vitamin profile, and also with helping keep your gut microbiome happy with a huge diversity in what you're eating. Okay, so now you know how to build your plate. Now let's talk about what we want to keep off of the plate. Processed oils, trans fats, these are going to promote the inflammation cycle. They literally turn on the light bulb for inflammation. So keep the oils out. Anything that's highly refined and highly processed is also going to cause inflammation, because we talked about it's going to cause a super high spike in your blood sugar, and that constant repeated spike in blood sugar leads to inflammation. Animal products is another thing that we want to stay away from, because animal products are high in omega-6 fat. You always hear about omega-3s. Why do we need more omega-3s? So that we can balance out the ratio between eating too many omega-6s and needing more omega-3s. But the omega-6 fatty acids, when we have too many of them, cause big issues when it comes to inflammation. And it's because they contain a certain type of acid which triggers those pro-inflammatory molecules. Also, when the body breaks down animal protein, it releases something called TMAO. And studies have shown that more TMAO means more inflammation and a higher risk of heart disease. Dairy is something I would recommend. If anybody walked up to me on the street and said, what are 2 things I can do to be healthy? I would say make half your plate vegetables and get rid of the dairy. Most people are lactose intolerant. I'll put up right here on the screen a map that shows you the likelihood of people being lactose intolerant. I believe in Asian countries, like 99.99, nearly 100% of Asians are lactose intolerant. In the Black population, I want to say it's like 76, somewhere around there, % of people are lactose intolerant. We're not meant to drink that stuff. It's for baby cows. That's what it was designed for. For many people, it causes severe gut distress. How many times have we talked about how gut distress is going to lead to inflammation? It also wreaks havoc on the skin for many people as well. Excess salt. This is usually hidden in packaged foods and restaurant foods. Too much salt is going to disrupt what's called the endothelium. The endothelium it's the thin lining on your blood vessels. And when that gets disrupted, you are more likely to have inflammation, but also have high blood pressure as well, which is why salt and high blood pressure are linked. Also, if you have autoimmune issues, it's shown that high salt in animal studies will trigger the autoimmune response. So if you have an autoimmune disorder, you really do want to be on a low salt diet. Saturated fat, which is found in animal products, coconut oil, butter, cheese, it activates something called toll-like receptor 4, which is like a siren for inflammation within the body. That was a lot. If you enjoyed this video, you're gonna love the next one that pops up on the screen. It's another video about inflammation. Check out KPS down in the description. It is skincare that I trust with my loved ones, and there's something to be said about that. It's so clean you could eat it, and the before and afters are absolutely incredible. So thank you, KPS, for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one.